So, what's the deal with the Joker and bells? Hi, welcome to one of my weird niche rants, episode 1. What is with the Joker and giant bells? Now, I can hear you. You're saying, Raya, what the hell are you talking about? Let me explain, because this has been on my mind since 2012. On my mind for years. Years ago, when I first played my beloved Arkham games, changing my brain chemistry irreversibly forever, I noticed something. In Arkham City, the Joker leads Batman up a church's bell tower. Church anatomy is weird. There's probably an actual name for the bell tower. We're just gonna call it Bell Tower. In Arkham City, the Joker leads Batman up a church's bell tower and then blows it up with Batman inside. The scene is beautiful and action-packed and kind of sad. The abandoned church's fate, finally destroyed by the Joker's evil deeds. The scene struck me at the time because it felt familiar. Like a fallen bell is some kind of very common visual metaphor, but I could not think of any other examples where this happens. It still feels like it's saying something. It feels natural. Like a fallen bell should signify a common event or trope in media, and yet I could not explain why it was making me feel this way. I obviously still somewhat can't. Then my thoughts went back to the perpetrator of the scene. The Joker. Yeah, the Joker. The Joker and the big bell. Where have I seen that before? So what I did was I took out my books and I started on my serialized dailies from 1943, and I was just looking through them just to see, and look. This is the Joker's first appearance in this book, and he's fighting with Batman in a clock tower. You see that? And there's a giant fucking bell in there. Joker and the bell. Again, I scoffed when I found this. I'll put up the scene on the screen, as much as I'm sure you love me holding the book up and shaking around and being like, look! I really wasn't looking for it. I was just wondering if I could find a comic involving the Joker and a bell, and the very first comic I opened, there it was. What does it mean? It's probably just some coincidence. I mean, it's not like it's gonna happen again. Let's move on to the other games in the Arkham Games series. The next game, Origin, has the Joker fight you in a church, but not in the bell tower. That doesn't count. Arkham Knight has a scene between Batman and the Joker in a clock tower, but the bell has been removed since it's converted into an apartment. That means that doesn't really count either. So I guess there's no connection between the Joker and bells. It's probably nothing. Genuine question, would you live in a clock tower? It's tempting, right? It's technically a penthouse. You get a huge window, but there's a constant tick, 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 tick. But I haven't even brought up the first game yet. Arkham Asylum? Giant bell. When Mark Hamill's beautiful voice is searching for me, and by me, I mean Batman, a gigantic bell is dropped to the ground with an earth-shattering thud. Again, does it mean something or not? And I haven't even brought up the Joker's theme from Arkham Origins yet. It's Carol of the Bells. The bells. Ring, little bell, ring, little bell, ring, little bell. For those of you who don't know, Batman tends to be a very Christmassy franchise. So at this point, back in 2013, I saw all of these connections, and I was wondering, am I missing something? Is there a reference that I just don't know? So I googled, what's with the Joker and bells? In many variations, expecting some in-depth superfan Reddit thread, and there was nothing. I found nothing. No one was or is talking about this. Oh, but if you think this is the end of the Joker and the bell connections, it isn't. Many of you, I'm sure, have already thought of the most obvious connection between the Joker and a giant bell from the 1989 Tim Burton film. The Joker's final showdown with Batman before he falls to his timely death from a bell tower. Giant bell, the Joker, again. Sorry if you can hear the squeaking of my chair. I am not crazy! It keeps happening. There was that stupid meme all over Twitter when the Joker movie was coming out. The death bells. Like, shut up! Or in the 1960s series when the Joker plans to jolt Batman and Robin to 50,000 volts unless they get 3 Liberty Bells on the one-armed bandit.
What's the payoff?
3 Liberty Bells. Your freedom.
Holy fruit salad.
Sorry, I don't approve of gambling.
I don't approve of gambling. Or what about the Bell Tower room in Lego Batman's The Joker Returns, where you can play as the Joker and you run around the Bell Tower room with the giant bells? Or the Golden Age comics, because I was thinking if this Joker-Bell connection started maybe as an early Batman reference, then it would be in the Golden comics, right? Right? And sure enough, there are instances in the Detective Comics, and in the Batman comics, and in the World Finest comics that have the Joker and a bell. And let's not forget the holiday episode of the 4th season of the animated series where the Joker rigs a giant bell to kill everyone on New Year's Day.
Oh no.
And most importantly, we cannot forget Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin laid an egg, Batmobile lost a wheel, Joker got away. It's the Joker Bell connection. It's all connected, and I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt that all of this Bell referencing would be after 1989, which means it's all a reference to the Tim Burton movie. But a lot of this stuff is decades before the Tim Burton movie. So obviously, there has to be something else. There has to be another connection, a reference that I missed and no one online is talking about. And so people just either know, and I'm just over here being silly. What does it mean? At this point, I really do feel like I'm missing something. Some huge reference that has never been talked about online ever? I don't get it. Am I connecting dots that are not there? Is it because bells are just a common big set piece? And Americans, let me tell you, we love our big set pieces. So what's the connection?
I am connecting the dots.
What is with the Joker and bells? So first, I thought about bells and what they symbolize. What do bells mean when it comes to media and storytelling? And what could that possibly have to do with the most popular villain in the entire world? To afford a bell in a building to put in a tower, you know, there's probably like taxes or some kind of religious collection. So bells would imply a well-off human community. Bells could also be warnings, right? If there's danger, you ring the bell, it gets people's attention. Bells can signal evil that is yet to come. Frankly, I don't think of any of that. When I think of bell towers, I think of Hunchback of Notre Dame, the massive carillons, the people who ring them, the music, and the Western cultural, maybe even religious significance of the giant bell. Thank you, Victor Hugo.
Je vous en prie.
Wait. The Joker was inspired by The Man Who Laughs, didn't Victor Hugo write that? Oh my god, he did! Victor Hugo wrote The Man Who Laughs. How did I know that? But you know what this means? This means bells, Hunchback, Victor, Man Who Laughs, the Joker. We went from bells and back around to the Joker again. I don't even know how we did it. Is that it? Is that the connection? It was Victor Hugo all along. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, that must be it. What does it mean? I feel like I'm going insane. Is that the purpose? Is it to drive me mad? The Joker and Bell connection. Thank you so much for watching. This has been an original rant by me. What do you think about these, what would they be? They would be coincidences, I suppose? Have you ever noticed the connection between the Joker and the bells? The Joker and Bell connection? Because I know you haven't. Nobody's ever talked about this in the history of forever. Every time I bring up this topic, people, they don't get it. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know. But now, you know. Are there any more Joker and Bell connections that I may have missed and you noticed? If you noticed one, let me know, because I am making a list. I got a list. I hope in the future when you're consuming Batman content, you're gonna notice the Joker Bell connection. You got it up there now, and every single time you're gonna see it, and then you're gonna think of me. Thanks again, and see you next time when I take life inside your computer. Have a nice day.